My name is Eric. I own and operate Rise Above Classic Tattooing here in North Buffalo. I've been tattooing for close to 15 years, and I've been running the shop for close to 8. I can't say for sure that I would still be here if it wasn't for me having a son 18 years ago. That definitely gave me a little bit more of a permanence here. At that time, I was traveling around a lot for music, going to punk shows and things like that. And I had plans to move to Syracuse, New York, which, if you've been to Syracuse, it's a really similar blue-collar kind of a town. But that's where most of my friends lived at the time. So I considered moving out there. My son was conceived, and I stayed in Buffalo. But since then, even now that he's in college, I have a lot more freedom and a lot more options available to me, and I'm still choosing to stay here in Buffalo. I've gone to all these different places, and nothing feels quite like home. I was always into drawing. I've always been into kind of doodling in the margins when I was supposed to be doing schoolwork. I've been fascinated by it most of my life. What got me into tattoos in general were my father had a couple of tattoos that I just thought were the coolest things. And whenever I saw old guys that had a lot of tattoos, those blue-green sort of tattoos all over their arms, those were the guys that had a million stories to tell. They were the ones that at picnics and barbecues, people would crowd around to hear what they had to say. So at a really young age, I sort of associated tattoos with being like a Renaissance man, just being somebody who's traveled a lot and seen a lot and experienced everything life has to offer. Whereas other people saw it as, a criminal or some sort of a degenerate. I saw the exact opposite. I saw it as, veterans and just people that really had a lot to say and a lot to offer. And I kind of wanted to be one of those guys. So as soon as I was able to get tattooed, I started getting tattoos. And after my first tattoo experience, I thought this has got to be the coolest job you can possibly have. You can listen to whatever you want, you get to draw all day. It's, it couldn't be any better. Then I started learning that tattooers can travel the world, which I didn't realize. I thought you just kind of worked at your shop and that was it. So then when I opened up my own shop down the road here, originally 7 years ago or so, I started traveling with a friend of mine named Cooper, and he started taking me to conventions, introducing me to his friends, and I've been kind of on the road ever since. So I've been able to take this and really go some pretty amazing places with it and meet some of the most incredible people. And once again, it just makes me miss Buffalo that much more. I go to the other places and I really look forward to coming back here. I look forward to not having traffic, and I look forward to a low cost of living, which is really nice for better or for worse. I mean, there's definitely some people that I think feel as though Buffalo isn't quite as exciting as they might like. But I think some people like that, maybe nothing's ever going to be as exciting as they would like. Their standard is very different. But on the other side of it, Amelia that works here is from Western Massachusetts. Josh Adams that worked here was from Las Vegas. John Butcher that works here is from Phoenix, Arizona. And they've all made Buffalo their home. They fell in love with it and decided to stay. Josh has since moved to Pittsburgh, but he still, loves that blue-collar feel. And he fell in love with Buffalo when he came up here. And a lot of our friends that have been through here say the same thing. They just really like it here. They feel comfortable here. I mean, food, I really like some of the spots right up here in Hurdle that we've discovered by being in the neighborhood. There's a lot of great Middle Eastern restaurants. There's Iraqi food, there's Turkish food, and there's some of the newest people to kind of move to the area or moved to Buffalo, and they were really quick to make it their homes, and they are extremely welcoming when you walk into the restaurants. And sometimes people are intimidated when they find that there's, Iraqi food or, people from Yemen living in their neighborhood. But they're Buffalonians. They're the newest, sort of people to settle here. And so I go up to Hurdle. That's where we get most of our food, and it's generally Middle Eastern. I eat a lot of Ethiopian food. Down in Allentown, there's one of our favorite restaurants. It's called Gatur's, and it's just an Ethiopian restaurant. And it's nice to see that these different dynamics are coming here. So with recent immigration, it's just opened the doors up to so many more cultures. Us being introduced to these other cultures. I think North Buffalo is, in my eyes, one of the most up and coming, cool neighborhoods. Hurdle is becoming younger and younger. And now there's things like, Lloyd's is talking about opening up a place. The Co-op is opening a second location down there. There's the lofts at the Warwick. There's these lofts over here on Lincoln and Amherst now, and it's really starting to bring some of that, city living culture out this way. And it's becoming an extremely sort of, for lack of a better cliche term, a very hip place to live. And more and more people are moving out this way, and I love it. This is where I grew up, was out in this neighborhood. I was born on the west side and grew up out here, and I couldn't be happier with how it's going out this way. My father is from Brooklyn, my mother's from Canada, and they decided to settle here and make a life here out of all the other places they could have been. They saw something here and they passed it on to me. We never really were a stagnant family. We camped and did things like that, but we stayed pretty close to home, and we took advantage of everything that there was here in Buffalo when I was young. When I was in Boy Scouts and things, we stayed on the USS Sullivan and the Little Rock, and we just did everything, all these really great things that we have here that a lot of people just don't realize are here, that I took advantage of as a kid. And so those memories are here, and I think that keeps me here a little bit more as well. Just the familiarity of everything is pretty important to me. So.